yourself today. Classic Cinemas is making moviegoing more affordable. Every Tuesday, all movies all day long are just $5. Additional charge for 3D movies. The magic of the movies is at a Classic Cinemas theater near you. For theater information and showtimes, visit ClassicCinemas.com. That's ClassicCinemas.com. The magic of the movies. Classic Cinemas.
Now here he is, the regular guy, brought to you by Classic Cinema, Chicago's best entertainment experience is at Classic Cinema Studio in New York. Visit Classic Cinema.
This is going to the show, and I'm just a regular guy. So today we got a movie that takes us back to the 70s. It's an old-fashioned horror movie called The Quiet Ones. Now, it takes place over by England, which, makes it seem a little more fancy than it probably is. But it's a throwback made by the recently rebooted Hammer Studios, who made a bunch of horror movies back in the 60s with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Now, this one stars Jared Harris. Maybe you remember him as Lane, the guy who hung around Mad Men for a while? Yeah, him. Well, in this, he's a wacky college psychology professor at Oxford who believes that ghosts and possessions are all things supernatural, are mere figments of the possessed or haunted's imagination. And through his methods, he could put a stop to the madness. So along with a couple of hand-picked students out of his class, one picked because, well, it's the 70s and she looks good in hot pants, and his other, AV geek, he comes along to film everything with a big movie camera. Well, the professor launches into what he calls the experiment. And his subject is a disturbed teenage girl named Jane who says she is possessed by the spirit of Evie, who also lives inside this doll she's got. Anyway, the experiment is controversial. It consists of him locking her up in a room in a nightgown where he plays the old Slade song, Come On, Feel the Noise, crank up to way past 11, which, as you would imagine, ticks off the neighbors and the school. So what they do is the professor and everybody, they take the experiment to a better place. A creaky, dark, abandoned country home in the middle of nowhere. Oh yeah, the perfect place to try and prove that demons only exist in the mind, right? Well, as you would guess, his theory is a crock, because, well, why else would they have made a horror movie about it in the first place? So the movie does get predictable as it goes on, but for a while, this is actually pretty good. It slams a bunch of different tried and true types of spooky movies together, your ghosts, your demons, insanity, plus the filming by the AV guy, well, that puts, and at that angle is like an old-timey take on the found footage thing that we see all the time now. Well, looking at the happenings in the movie through a 16mm lens really gives it a cool and creepy look. In the 70s, well, that thing works well too. And for a movie called The Quiet Ones, it's got some great sounds, which give it all of the scares it's got. The sounds make...
I gotta get away from this guy.
Sort of thing going on. Things that don't really amount to much, but give you a jolt anyway.
Thank you for getting in front of me.
And then in music, along with Slade, you got T-Rex, you got Hawkwind. Harris is pretty good in this as the nutty professor, throwing around words like teleplasm and bioelectric energy fields, and leering at the girl in the hot pants, as well as taking an inappropriate interest in Jane. But the experiment gets drawn out, and it does get a little tedious, but for a while, it's got some things that put it up a notch and that pull you in, and it makes this movie more interesting than your typical possession movie. It's called The Quiet Ones. Now, you want to hear some of my other reviews? Those are at 93XRT.com, and I'm just a regular guy on 93XRT, Chicago's finest rock.
Oh, man. Tense. Oh, man.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you.
Oh, man.
By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way
Indiana, BWN. Oh, look at that truck. Oh, man.
Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had it out. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do.
Yes, there's going to be a law against taking pictures with your video camera while you're driving.
have to walk a winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding.
Oh, wow.
There are many things that I would like to say to you,
Man, oh, man. Oh, my God.
you're gonna be the one that saves me.
Oh, man.
And after
Oh, man. Oh,
I wonder why.
man. Guys from Indiana are fed of me.
Today was gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead you there were winding, and all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me.
Man.
And after all, you're my wonder.
What a nightmare. Oh, my God.